the fire. We'll face unafraid the plans that we've made. We're walking in a winter wonderland.
So the big thing for me is lights. You know, if you're gonna make an investment in some good lights and put lots on. It really, the more the better. This one's got over 2,000 lights on it.
So then we're gonna take some cloves, very festive ingredient, similar flavoring to nutmeg, works very well with some cinnamon, some star anise.
This is the brand new iRobot Roomba. It will pick up dust and dirt and pet hair and all that, but with this new model, not only will it do that for you, whether you're home or not, but it will navigate itself back to the base to charge itself up and empty its dustbin for you.
From the Zoomerplex in historic Liberty Village, the Zoomer with Marissa Semkiw.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. We're walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along. We're walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman. We'll pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job while you're in town. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire. We'll face unafraid the plans that we've made. We're walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman. We'll pretend that he's a circus clown. We'll have lots of fun with Mr. Snowman until the other kids knock him down. Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire. We'll face unafraid the plans that we've made. We're walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter wonderland. We're walking and we're talking. We're dancing and romancing. We're waltzing. Wonderland, walking in a winter wonderland.
Welcome to the Zoomer. I'm Marissa Semkiw. That was the ever-talented Ault sisters performing their new holiday single, Winter Wonderland, which is atop the iTunes Jazz charts for top songs in Canada. Ladies, congratulations. They'll be back later in the show to perform, but first we have an exciting lineup today with experts here to help you get inspired this holiday season. From decorating techniques to DIY projects to how to make the perfect winter cocktail. Thank you all for being here. As the holiday season approaches, millions of people around the world will participate in their own holiday traditions. For me, it's all about family. It wouldn't be Christmas if I didn't watch It's a Wonderful Life with my mom. But I also have a new addition to my family this year, so I'm looking forward to starting new traditions with her. But what about you guys, Matthew?
Well, we throw a Toronto tradition for Christmas. We're doing at the distillery the Toronto Christmas Market. Lots of different things to do there, carolers, choirs, mulled wine, which you're going to be hearing about later. Lots of a 50-foot tree that decorated beautifully. But I think to keep it simple at the holidays, just connect with other people, think about being a kid, enjoy life, appreciate the people around you.
Marc, I see you nodding to that. I guess you agree.
Yeah, it's all about family time and friends. We celebrated Hanukkah, so we made latkes and we lit the menorah. It was really nice, and my brother-in-law had a party. And then around Christmas time, you know, this time of year, we visit friends who have us for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and we sort of drive around and visit, and we get a sense of, you know, different customs and religions. It's really nice, beautiful.
Any unique holiday traditions, Leks?
My family's Estonian, so the December 24th is more important than the 25th for us. We celebrate in the evening, and we do blood sausage as the traditional meal, so it's a vorst.
That's unique, yeah.
Yeah, a bit different.
It wouldn't be a family meal, and especially not a holiday family meal in my household without getting into politics. I mean, we love chatting politics and I know you're not supposed to. Does anyone else run into this problem? Because, yeah, okay.
My wife and her dad get into it all the time.
It makes for an interesting family discussion. They say you're not supposed to, but how can you avoid it sometimes?
Well, a couple of bottles of wine in.
That makes it better.
Better or worse?
Better or worse. What are your...
And I think, too, like, the politics of your family, you know, trying to get everybody together and make it work with everybody's schedule. As my children age and they have boyfriends and extended family, we're tugged and pulled, and it's a real compromise to make it work with everyone's schedule. But to me, it's very important that we do, you know, set aside some time to get together, because that's what our memories are made of, right? Is our family time, and we're going to remember these.
It's a busy time of year. What advice can you guys give for how to prepare for the holiday season? I mean, especially when it comes to getting gifts, perhaps early?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate in what I do for a living, reviewing electronics, that my kids have no shortage of great tech and stuff. So we actually don't buy gifts for our kids, because it's not, you know, we want something to be special, so that really is time. The time that I'm like, it's my downtime, I'm not traveling, so it's about family time. So that's how we prepare, is just to clear out our calendars. We don't typically go away over Christmas, we do that in the spring, but just spending time together, even unplugging, actually, to have better quality time. So that's how we celebrate. Is really not about gifts, but about just connecting.
Any other advice, Leks?
Always try to get a head start early. I mean, picking your tree, get on it early. If you're waiting to the end, the selection's not going to be great. I'm guilty of the waiting way too late to buy the gifts, so try not to leave it, you know, 2 nights before.
And sometimes stores close on Christmas Eve, so
you can
need
be
to watch
up
out
the
for
creek
that.
if you leave it too late, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, when we come back, nothing announces the holiday season quite like a new evergreen. Everything you need to know to keep your tree fresh and contain the inevitable mess. And later, DIY decorating tips and tricks. Stay tuned.
You can't overwater a tree. The key thing is to make sure that that tree is still actively drinking water, and that's where your tree preservative is going to come in. So whether you go with a Miracle-Gro tree preservative or Stay Fresh, which is a product that's been around for a long time, those are going to keep that wound open and keep that tree drinking.
Season. Of course, holiday greenery and flowers are a huge part of holiday decor, from trees to wreaths to poinsettias, but if yours never seem to last, you may be treating them all wrong. Leks Maltby from Sheridan Nurseries joins me now with tips to keep your Christmas plants beautiful the whole season long. Let's start with the focal point of our holiday decor, the tree. Leks, what are we looking for when we're picking a tree? How do we test the freshness of it?
Basically, I mean, you're looking for shape, you're looking for size, you're looking for variety. So something like a Fraser fir, known for a shorter needle and better needle retention, versus, say, a balsam fir to your left, which is more fragrance, less needle retention.
But even when I go like this, the needles aren't falling off.
That's a good sign. Now, this is early days. Something down the road, you might have a little more shedding with that, but you're gonna have a lot of fragrance.
Once you've selected the tree, what do? You bring it home?
At that point, you're gonna want them to make a fresh cut at the garden center. That's extremely important. Once the fresh cut is made on the bottom, take maybe a ½ inch to an inch off the bottom. You get it home, you get it into some water, and you want to get some tree preservative in there.
No, hang on. You bring it home, you put it in the stand.
Yeah.
How do you know which stand? Can it be too big, too small?
Different stands are graded for different heights of trees. So whether you're working with a 6 to 8 foot tree, an 8 to 10 foot tree, 10 foot plus, each different respective type of stand is going to be graded to that size of tree. A lot of the stands are metal, which makes sense if you're going for a bigger tree. There's a great plastic variety called the swivel stand that we call it the marriage saver. It's got a cup. The cup just pops on the bottom, and then you've got a foot lever, and you can just tap it. So basically, you can adjust it without having to have one person down there fidgeting with the knobs.
Marriage
so
saver.
We call the swivel the
that
marriage
makes so
saver.
much sense when I think about how I put my tree in my household this Christmas. In fact, actually, the tree stand was a little too small, so I shoved the tree on it. Sure enough, it cracked, and I've since had leaking in my house. But can you overwater a tree?
You can't overwater a tree. The key thing is to make sure that that tree is still actively drinking water, and that's where your tree preservative is going to come in. So whether you go with a Miracle-Gro tree preservative or Stay Fresh, which is a product that's been around for a long time, those are going to keep that wound open and keep that tree drinking. They have an antifungal agent which helps keep that wound open.
Now, just very quickly, how long can people expect for these trees to stay fresh before the needles start falling off?
Again, it will depend on variety. It'll depend on how warm you keep your home, and it'll depend on how often you do the watering and the tree preservative. Realistically, it's safe to say you'll get through the entire holiday season up until the 25th. How long you want to push it into the new year, that's going to depend on variety. So something like a Fraser, you're going to get a lot more life out of. The balsam might be looking a little sparse by, say, the New Year's.
Likely. All right, well, let's head around because we're going to talk about wreaths. Now, most people think when they buy a wreath, they'll decorate it or they'll buy one decorated. They'll hang it on the door, and they'll do nothing else. Is there anything that we should be doing to maintain the wreath?
Couple tricks of the trade with the wreath. First thing, again, looking at variety. Something like this with a noble fir base, a short needle, that's going to hold its needles quite well. Second thing, regardless of whether it's indoor or outdoor, you're probably going to want to use an anti-desiccant. There's a product called Wilt Proof that helps keep that moisture in the needles. It's a spray. Just spray it right on. That's going to prevent shed.
How often should you be spraying it?
A really good application when it first goes up, and then you can reapply maybe a week to 2 weeks down the road. That should do it.
Okay, and of course, there's no plant that screams Christmas more than the poinsettia. How do you maintain a poinsettia? What are your tips?
Poinsettias, people often make the mistake of overwatering a poinsettia. They actually prefer to be a little on the dry side. You don't want to push them to the point of wilt. That means they've gone too dry. But if their soil is saturated all the time, they're not going to perform well, and you're going to get leaf drop there as well.
Now, that's interesting because when you look at a poinsettia, you think it's a tropical plant, and I think it is a tropical plant.
It's native to places like Mexico, so yeah.
So you would think that it would like more water.
Yeah, it doesn't take it up necessarily the same way. So again, you can keep that on the drier side. It still is going to need regular water, but you want to let it get a little dry between waterings.
All right. Well, Lex, thank you. When we come back, floral designer Beth Edney shares her tips for decorating a beautiful and unique Christmas tree.
So if you really want to bring out a color, bring white into the scenario, and it will really make the other colors just bounce.
Welcome back. Whether your holiday decorating style is traditional or anything but, my next guest is here to help you spice things up. Beth Edney is the official tree decorator for the Toronto Christmas Market and an award-winning floral designer. She's here with advice on how to trim your tree with unique DIY projects and design tips. Beth, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, when we think about the tree, of course, I've said it before, it's the focal point of our home.
It is.
It takes a lot of time to do, and it can be a little bit overwhelming. So what advice do you have?
Okay, so the first advice is, you know, if you've go smaller. Like, you don't have to go huge.
Bigger isn't always better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the big thing for me is lights. You know, if you're gonna make an investment in some good lights and put lots on. It really, the more the better. This one's got over 2,000 lights on it. But typically, I would say a rule of thumb is if you go 100 lights per foot, that's a good start.
Oh, wow. And do you start at the top or the bottom?
Absolutely start at the bottom. You know,
Okay.
everybody wants to start at the top, and you feel like you're making lots of progress at the top. But the problem is most of the decor goes to the bottom, as I mentioned earlier. That bottom third takes over half the lights. So you want to start at the bottom. The other thing with lighting is you want to go in and out. I see
That's
lots
right.
of people just wrapping
it around the tree.
But you want depth. You want to create some depth and some real elegance to your tree. So you want to get in there and light up as much as possible, because that's going to light up your ornaments as well. So what I do is, you know, that's the time that's going to take the most time. So don't get frustrated lighting your tree. It's going to probably take half your time at least if you're going to put that kind of amount of lights on. And then I love using wired ribbon for a garland because it's inexpensive. You can reuse it every year. You can fluff it back up and put it around. I don't know if you can
And
grab
now,
it
like,
there.
unlike the lights, you start at the top, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
and so I'm gonna put the garland on first because if you put the garland on last, which I know a lot of people do, you're covering up all your ornaments, you know?
That's
So
right.
this
Oh,
way,
that's a good point.
you know, if you create a nice spiral, then you start decorating inside
And
that.
similarly, should we be going inside the...
That's the one trick I don't too much. It really depends on the shape of your tree. If you want to grab that one, how much I go in. If the tree's very symmetrical, like this one, it's in a pretty good shape. I can just kind of follow the lines of it.
Yeah.
If it's really wacky and not so, let's say, uniform, I might go in and out.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the first step. Then my tip is always, I think what we want to do is we get out all our ornaments and we just want to start putting them all up, right? And you get excited, oh, this one my grandmother gave me and this one, you know, Johnny made. But what you want to do is you want to pick kind of your cheap ornaments. The ones that are...
Not the sentimental.
Not the sentimental. Because what you want to do is you want to take all one color. So I'm just going to take these. I love these balls because they're plastic. You can drop them.
And they won't
and
break.
they're not going to shatter. And I put those on first. And so it's all one color first. And that's going to give you a nice unified look. If you start putting on a red ball here and a white ball there, you never get a nice unified shape.
I don't even want to show you the tree at my house right now. All I have on my tree is Christmas lights and 5 balls that are different colors.
That's all right. It's all right. You know,
You collect them over the years.
Exactly. But this is a way that you could make it more uniform, is if you get some balls, you can put them on, and then the ones that you really like can play the starring role. So the key is to really put them in and out. I find a lot of people, my staff, sometimes they like to put them all on the tips, and they look funny. They look kind of like Charlie Brownish, you know, hanging out at the tips. So again, you want to put those balls all in to keep within the shape of the tree as well. So then once you've got those done, I've got these balls, and they're actually just a pick. You might see them in the flower shops.
Yeah.
And so they make great arrangements where you put them in your garlands or whatever. But what I like to do is do a little twist. So you got a cute little topper to them.
Oh, and then they hang?
And then I hang them in.
I like that.
And so those, I mean, and really super inexpensive. You could spend a whole afternoon, and I do, decorating and putting tons and tons of the red balls on.
Okay.
But, you know, you can stop somewhere too.
Now, once we've put all the red balls on, then what?
So then you can have some fun. You can do different things. So maybe you have some sentimental ornaments. In this case, I'm doing on the cheap. So I've gotten clusters. They come in kind of a large cluster. I've just clipped them all off, these berries, and I just put them all in throughout the tree, and it just adds a really, really pretty, festive, natural kind of look to the tree. So these ones just come, I just tuck them right onto the branch.
Yeah.
So they
They
just
kind of
come
just
onto the
sit
tip.
in there nicely.
Exactly.
Won't fall. So you've picked a red theme this year, but if you were to choose gold, you would just get everything in a different color.
So, I mean, gold's, you know, a classic and never goes out of style. I actually brought in what's really hot this year, which is the rose golds. So, you know, instead of taking,
I like
you know,
that.
the whole tree and, you know, throwing everything out, so like, let's say we had red, but let's say we had gold, just adding little accents like this into your gold tree adds that
And how
elegance.
where would you put that?
What I would do, again, I would clip these all off and make them little picks like I did with the berries.
Okay.
And it goes a long way, because this, you know, is expensive, but I can get probably 20 ornaments out of this one pick. And then I thought for fun, I have this snowflake garland that I've pulled apart. Again, it's on the cheap. You know how you can maximize an ornament.
Well, you don't need to, you know, break the bank when decorating your Christmas tree.
Exactly. Someone's got to buy gifts still. So these are kind of fun. And I love red and white because white is really underrated, because what it does is it makes the other colors pop. You know, so if you really want to bring out a color, bring white into the scenario and it will really make the other colors just bounce. And then it just gets to be a challenge in my world of trying to find a spot to put them, because I always have way too many ornaments for the amount of branches I have.
All right. Wow. Yeah, look at that. In, what, 5 minutes? We've decorated the tree perfectly. Beth, thank you so much. Up next, impress your guests this holiday with some quick and easy holiday delights.
So we're grating grana padano on there, which gives it a rich, sharp, kind of like zingy flavor, a pop to it, if you will.
Mulled wine, and the best part about it, besides that it's delicious, is it's so easy to make. Joining me now is Andrew Wilson, executive chef at Cluny Bistro in Toronto. We'll be making the perfect warm drink for this holiday season, and in lieu of mashed potatoes, he suggests truffle frites. Thanks for being here. You are, of course, one of the featured chefs at the Toronto Christmas Market, and you've been putting together both the mulled wine and truffle frites for people coming to visit the Christmas Market. Why the mulled wine?
So we've been serving mulled wine for the last 9 years at the Toronto Christmas Market. So it's extremely popular. It's one of the most popular things that we're serving. We've gone through probably over 100,000 portions of mulled wine.
How many people is that? How many people would that serve?
Over 100,000. So each. But in liters, it would be about over 20,000 liters of mulled wine.
For folks at home, how can they make it if they can't make it out to the Christmas market?
So you just pretty much, it's very simple to make at home. So all it's sugar, some festive ingredients such as clove, cinnamon, and star anise. And so let's just get it going. So
you've poured a liter of wine in there?
Yeah, this is about a liter and a half. So pretty much a bottle of wine. And then we're gonna take some sugar and we're gonna add that in.
How much sugar is that?
This is about a cup. Okay, and then we're just gonna add in 1 whole orange to let it steep.
Now, is there a type of wine that's better than others, or?
It all depends on what you're looking for. If you like a sweeter red, go for a sweeter red. If you like a drier red, me, it's the alcohol, everything's getting cooked out, so the cheapest bottle is fine.
You're cooking out the alcohol? There's no alcohol in the mulled wine?
No, well, it depends on how you want the wine itself. If you want it sharp and boozy, you just pretty much bring everything up to a boil, turn it off, and then wait until
drink it from there.
Yeah, just wait until it's cool. So then we're gonna take some cloves, very festive ingredient, similar flavoring to nutmeg, works very well with some cinnamon, some star anise, all things that you would find inside, cranberry sauce.
What are star anise?
Yeah, so they come from, northern Vietnam, and they're just a pod that have an anise flavor. It's actually from an evergreen tree. These are gonna steep and cook, and then we'll be able to drink that shortly. But we're gonna move on to the fries.
So the second thing that you're making at the Christmas market is these truffle frites.
Yes.
And you suggest, of course, in lieu of mashed potatoes, maybe at the dinner table, or maybe something to hand out just as an appetizer.
Yeah, people love French fries, right?
Can't disagree with that.
At Cluny, one of our biggest sellers is our poutine. Okay, so because this is the first year that Cluny has actually had something outside as a stall in the Christmas market, we've chosen something that the general public love, which is fries. Our take on this is we're taking a truffled velouté, so we've stewed down in caramelized mushrooms to make them really, really nice, earthy, get those aromatic flavors in there, but we've also paired up with black and white truffles. A velouté is just a stock cooked out with a roux. So a roux is just equal parts of flour and butter. And so with this one, the measurements that we've done is pretty much a 1/4 pound of flour and a 1/4 pound of butter. And just a liter of vegetable stock. So pretty much anyone who's vegetarian can eat this.
Okay.
And we do the same thing in the market. Same recipe.
And you just stir it until...
And then we just cook it out until it starts getting nice and thick, and we take a mixture of raclette and Gruyere cheese and throw that in. Roughly about a liter. It depends on how cheesy you want it. We just cook that out. Roughly,
how long does it cook for?
About 45 minutes to an hour, and you just let it cook. You gotta stir it constantly and keep it on a low, low heat.
Got it.
Because the flour and the cheese, everything's gonna burn. So this is essentially how we serve it in the Christmas market. So, and then we're gonna take our truffled velouté.
Yeah.
And just pour it right over top.
Oh, that looks excellent.
So we wanna get a
Can
nice...
you smell it? Does it smell good, guys?
A nice, generous amount on there. So we're grating grana padano on there, which gives it a rich, sharp, kind of like zingy flavor, a pop to it, if you will. And then on top of that, just because I love truffles, we're gonna grate some black truffle over top of it.
That's so decadent. I'll pass it around to you guys when I'm done. Okay, let's try this. And I guess we should probably pair it with our mulled wine. Is that ready too?
Oh, yes. That's a great idea.
And so this one, because it hasn't been cooking for very long, has a high alcohol content. Is that right?
Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit of sharpness to it.
Okay.
But I did cheat a little bit and steep some of the stuff in beforehand, so you will get some of the goodness.
Cheers. That tastes like Christmas in a glass. That tastes so good. Oh my goodness. All right, let's try this. Let's try this poutine. Oh, I guess truffle frites. Can't really. Oh, this is excellent. You guys have to go to the Christmas market and test all of this.
It makes for
out.
a good breakfast.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, fantastic. And I understand you've brought some gifts with you as well for some lucky members of the audience. So, what have you got here? So
what we have in front is a gift basket with house-made jams, house-made pâte de fruits. Next one has some really, really nice flavored oils. This one is hazelnut oil. We also have pistachio and almond oils that we have. They go along with some marshmallows. And then maple syrup that we bring in from a local tree tapper.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
we have a wonderful selection of teas that we can pair up for you, and then gluten-free chocolate cookies.
Amazing. So, all right, 3 members of the audience are going home with these gifts. Pick 3 numbers between 1 and 93.
27, 49, and 84.
You guys have your numbers? I heard there's one behind. Yes. Okay, over there. And one more. Oh, there we are. Okay, fantastic. All right, well, you guys can collect your gifts at the end. We will be putting all of the recipes for this on our website, www.thezoomertv.com. When we come back, tech expert Marc Saltzman joins me on the hottest Christmas gift gadgets for 2018. I'm keeping this.
Yeah, go for it.
I brought with me here the 9.7-inch iPad. I do like that these new models support Apple Pencil, so this is an optional accessory that gives you a little bit more precision. And what's super popular with these iPads are these adult coloring books.
To rising gift trends, we're seeing a big focus on tech products this year. Here for the season's hottest gift gadgets is none other than Marc Saltzman. Marc, thank you for being here.
Thanks for
These are
having
both,
me.
I guess you could say, gifts and things that you can just use over the holidays.
Absolutely, yeah, we're all year round, but certainly if you're at home, maybe having a staycation, home for the holidays, you can use all of these products as well, but they do make for great gifts, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's start with the first one.
Sure, the iPad. So it's been around since 2010. Apple has retained what was made it so popular to begin with. It's a very magical product, but they keep adding new features year after year. So I brought with me here the 9.7-inch iPad. There's a few different models and sizes to choose from.
There's bigger, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a larger one, an iPad Pro and all that for those who need a little bit more sophisticated editing and power under the hood. But I do like that these new models support Apple Pencil. So this is an optional accessory that gives you a little bit more precision. And what's super popular with these iPads are these adult coloring books. So,
I actually have one of those at home, but in the coloring book version.
Oh, the old school. Yeah, with real paper.
Yeah, it is real paper.
So this way you don't get ink on your hands. But it's the same idea. And there's so many different designs to choose from, lots of different apps. So this is the idea is that you just, touch on the, you got your palette and you've got your different colors.
Oh,
it's
look at that.
super relaxing.
You don't have to actually sit there and color in the spaces.
You could.
Tap it.
You can. There are modes where you can, just fully do it yourself, and you do have to. You could zoom in, by the way, like this. this, and it's just super relaxing. Of course, there's like 1.3 million apps that you can download. This is just one example. So whether it's Sudoku or it's crossword puzzles, of course, iPad's great for watching movies on your lap. It's got a 10-hour battery, playing music, reading ebooks. The list goes on and on. A very versatile product. So it's still my favorite. Year after year, they just iterate enough where, you know, it really does change it. It's funny, when it came out, I was thinking, do I really need another screen between a smartphone and a computer? Like, doesn't it seem redundant? But then once you get it in your hands, you get the magic. They're great for video chatting with the kids or grandkids as well. It's got FaceTime, right? So if someone's away, or if you have relatives who are snowbirds, whatever, you can easily chat over Wi-Fi. There's an optional cellular model, so there's a lot to like about it. And then the Apple Pencil, again, is optional.
What's interesting is that's actually less expensive than the phone.
Yeah, that's true, right. The new iPhones can be pretty expensive, right.
All right, okay, so what's the second guy?
Moving on. This is the Roku Express. So Roku is a device that you plug into your TV, and it turns any TV into a smart TV.
Okay.
And this is only $45. And the way that it works is you join your Wi-Fi, so you do need a Wi-Fi, like a router in your home. And then once you do that, you get the remote with it. It lets you watch thousands of channels on demand, like YouTube or Netflix. Some are free, some are paid, but makes it super easy to stream.
Right, so for our audience, the smart TV is where you can, you know, click a button, then you have access to Netflix, you have access to YouTube, Amazon Prime, whatever.
Correct.
Whatever else you're looking for.
That's right. So this is a great way to add to a regular TV to make it a smart TV.
Yeah.
But there are people who already have that tech inside the TV that this is even faster. So they
speed it up.
Yeah, it's because it's a dedicated device. It does one thing and one thing very well, and the remote is super comfortable, really easy. In our house, you know, my mom, who's 78, not very tech savvy, God love her, we gave her this, and it just works like a charm because she keeps hearing my wife and I and our kids talking about, oh, we're binge watching this Netflix show, and she felt like kind of left out because some of them are exclusives, many of them are. So by gifting her that, and her TV was not a smart TV, this allowed her to you know, watch the shows that we all talk about.
And you don't need to buy an expensive new television with smart TV access. Absolutely. Okay. All right, moving on.
So one of the hottest tech trends are these smart speakers or smart screens, where they have a built-in virtual assistant, and you place it somewhere in your home, maybe a highly trafficked area like the kitchen, and it's your own voice-enabled personal assistant. So I'm sure many of your viewers have one, and now the trend is screens instead of just speakers. So this is the Amazon Echo Show, and it does have Alexa built in. That's her. She just woke up when I said her name. Then you can ask something like, Alexa, play Michael Bublé Christmas music.
Shuffling Christmas.
Please. Someone in the audience said I should ask for please. I should say please. That's a great idea. So you get the idea. Not only does she give you a human-like reply and give you what you want, whether it's a question or a command like turn on the lights, whatever, but she's going to complement, what you hear with something visual. In this case, it's album artwork. But you can ask to play videos. You can ask for weather, and it'll not just tell you the weather verbally, but it'll show you, say, a 7-day forecast visually. You can ask for recipes and have step-by-step instructions. You can make video calls. There's a camera built in.
Recipe would be great because then you can just look at it on the screen. She might even read it to you.
And follow up. She will. And you can also, again, calling her a she. So let's do that. So Alexa, show me a recipe for chocolate chip cookies.
Here's a few recipes.
There you go.
Okay, so this is because I asked for numerous ones.
And the music stayed on.
Yeah, right. So some of them will do that. And then in this case, you say start recipe, and then you can use your voice or your fingertips to do next step, because your hands may be busy making what you're following along with. And if you're daring, you can even ask for how many calories are in chocolate chip cookies.
Would she answer that question?
She will answer that. You want to try it here? Alexa, how many calories are in chocolate chip cookies? There you go.
Oh, 146 calories.
That's a lot, right?
One serving of chocolate chip cookie. One cookie has 146 calories.
So these devices are great for, keeping you entertained.
She tells you how many calories are in a cookie, she gives you a recipe for a cookie, and she plays music for you. Right. Now, what's the major difference between Alexa and, say, Siri, who we all have come to know quite well on our cell phones?
So in Canada, the HomePod, which is a smart speaker in the States, is not available, so there's no in-home Siri yet, unless you use your iPad or iPhone.
Alexa,
okay,
stop.
Yeah, there you go. Please, right?
Please.
But so the biggest competitor would be Google Home, and there are some screens as well. So they're very similar in that they do similar things. So it shows you content. You can control your lights, your thermostat, so long as it's supported. Get recipes, weather, traffic, information, watch movies. This is like a companion for the kitchen or any other room that you want to put it in, and with great sound too, not just the 10.1-inch touchscreen, but I love the audio quality is really good.
That's an incredible gift.
Yeah.
Okay, and last but not least.
Last but not least, this is the brand new iRobot Roomba, the i7 Plus. So I'm sure your viewers are familiar with Roomba. They've been around for a few years. They are a floor vacuuming robot. It will pick up dust and dirt and pet hair and all that. But with this new model, not only will it do that for you, whether you're home or not, but it will navigate itself back to the base to charge itself up and empty its dustbin for you.
What else could you ask for?
It's awesome. So there's essentially a second vacuum inside of the unit, inside of the base, rather. So it does its cleaning. It's a smarter cleaning job now, too, by the way. It'll navigate itself back to the base. The second vacuum kicks in. It brings out all the dust and dirt and pet hair inside of this canister, which you only have to remove every couple of weeks or every couple of months.
Is it fairly easy to...
Yep, that's right. Just like pops up and then you empty it off. There you go. It's in there. So it's about
okay,
30, it holds about 30 different jobs. So depending on how often you have your Roomba do the cleaning for you, it does its thing, and then you just empty it. So it's very smart. Year after year, they keep adding new features.
And is it loud?
No, it's not that loud. No, the vacuum itself, the robotic vacuum, is a lot quieter. This makes a little bit of a noise when it sucks it into the base, and then that's about it. It's relatively quiet. And again, the idea is that you don't have to open up the bin and get the dust all over you. It works with Alexa or Google Home, so you can use your voice now. You can say...
You can tell Alexa to turn the Roomba on?
Yeah, you could say, Roomba, clean my home.
Okay, Marc, well, thank you very much. Now, before we go, we have a special gift giveaway courtesy of the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Commission. We have 5 $100 gift cards that can be used toward the purchase of any OLG products. If you have an OLG sticker under your chair, you are one of the lucky winners. So... Thank you very much to the OLG for these gifts. Up next, the Ault sisters are back on the other side of the break.
On Facebook, Matt writes, I love the holidays. It's my favorite time of the year. I get so excited that all my decorations have been set up since the beginning of November. On Twitter, Oliver tweets, Happy holidays, everyone. My grandchildren remind me that you're never too old to get excited over opening gifts on Christmas morning. #holiday season. Keep the comments coming in, and don't forget to log on to www.thezoomertv.com for full episodes and more.
Thank you so much for being here again. Now, you've released a new album this fall entitled Sisters in Song. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this album is our throwback to all the fabulous sister groups who've inspired us over the years, like the Andrews Sisters and the Pointer Sisters and the Guar Sisters, and we did one of our own original songs on the album as well, so that was pretty exciting for us.
Any favorites on the album?
Yeah, my favorite is definitely Neutron Dance, which is a Pointer Sisters tune, and as the name suggests, it's very danceable. You can move along to it, so yeah.
And where can our audience check out this album?
You can find it on iTunes and on Spotify, and if you want a physical copy, you can order it on CD Baby.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, you're set to sing another song for us. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the Ault sisters.
May you always walk in sunshine, slumber warm when night winds blow. May you always live with laughter, for a smile becomes comes you so. May good fortune find your doorway. May the bluebirds sing your song. May no troubles travel your way. May no worries stay too long. May your heartaches be forgotten. May no tears be spilled. May old acquaintance be remembered, and your cup of kindness filled. And may you always be a dreamer. May your wildest dreams come true. May you find someone to love as much as I love you. May your heartaches be forgotten. May no tears be spilled. May old acquaintance be remembered, and your cup of kindness filled. Oh, and may you always be a dreamer. May your wildest dreams come true. May you find someone to love as much as I love you. Oh, may you find someone to love as much as I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ault sisters, you can check them out on YouTube. Check out their new album, Sisters in Song. It's fantastic. That's all the time we have. Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you soon. For now, it's time to zoom out.
Get ready, hey, hey. Listen steady to what I say. Tell you something, he's coming. Santa is on his way. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good, for goodness sake. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town.